Yeah, good vacha, good yard to all. Good Given Shia Hashem should answer Kol Mishal Zebech L'Toiva. We should be Zaycha next year and earlier than that to be in Eretz Yisrael, Yerushalayim HaKodesh, with the coming of Mashiach Yikinu B'Mheira B'Yameinu. Okay, we began the new parak the other day, the parak of Yesh Neichlin, and we brought in the pasuk of the Torah. Let's just do it again. We have the pasuk over here. Just guys, there's two things on the screen. So tell me, this is the pasuk. You see it?
Yes.
The bas. Okay, just right. Okay, so let's get this going. So now, okay, now let's get the order of. This is the order of the Yerusha according to the Torah. So if he has no ben, then you'll pass over the nachla to his daughter. So clearly, the first inheritor is the son. The second one is his daughter. The main leibas, and if he doesn't have a daughter to inherit him, then it goes to the brothers of the deceased. Good. So son, daughter, brother. The main le'achim the satam esnachlasei la'achi aviv. It goes to his uncles. And if he doesn't have uncles, it goes to someone called She'eroi. We said, who is She'eroi? That's the father. That's the father. And not only is that the father, but guys, here's the key. Here's the order now. Son, daughter, father, brother, uncle. And that's going to be the final order. The key. Son, daughter, father, brother, uncle. That's going to be the order, okay? And that, even though it's not the order of the Torah, that's going to be our order. So we're just going to pick it up. I think it just flows in well to pick up where we on Friday. Let's pick it up on Kuf Ches Lamed Beis. And we'll pick it up 3 lines from the top. Well, my drasha, what's the drasha that it was so chaviv that we listed the father's dema, that the son dies in the lifetime of the father? The Tanya, she'era zeha'av. When the Torah said she'era, it refers to the father. Malamed sha'av koidim la'achin, that the father comes before the brothers. We're jumping him over the brothers after the son and after the daughter. Yachal koidim leben. I might think that we go ahead and we jump him even over the son. Again, after all, fellas, what are we doing? Well, look what we're doing. We're jumping him from here to over here. Why stop here? Let's go all the way and say, guess what? The number one heir is the father. Says the Gemara, no, you can't say that. Talmud Leima HaKarov, the pasuk says, where's Karov? After
Lashero, Akarov.
Akarov, right. Their word of the Sheri Karov. So what does the Karov mean? The closest one. So the son is closer than the father. So therefore we can't jump the father over the son. Continues the Gemara. Why does the son, the father jump the son, and why does he jump the brothers and not the son? Why don't we say the brothers come before him as well? In other words, just like the son comes before, let the brothers come before. Let's say maybe the brothers should come before the son, guys. Maybe the brothers should come before the son. You hear? Why would his brothers come before his son? Says the Gemara. If there's an Amma Ivriya in the family, right? The father marries and the father doesn't marry, then the son has to marry. Then the son has to marry. And if there's a stei achuza that he was magdish and he wasn't paida, but his son was paida, then it doesn't go to the Kahanim Yovel. But if the brother was paida, it would go to the Kohanim Yovel. Again, the halacha is if a person's Magdash's field and someone else redeems it, he loses that stay achuz, it goes to the Kohen. However, if he redeems it or his son redeems it, it stays within the family. So we see the son takes the place of the father, le'inyan yiyud, and the son takes the place of the father, le'inyan stay achuza, with those two commonalities versus the brother. Therefore, there's no svar to say that the brother should come before the ben, that the father should jump the son and not jump the brothers. Says the Gemara, the son can't perform yibum, but the brother can. So since then maybe in Yerusha, he comes first. Says Gemara, no. In other words, it doesn't begin. The only reason you get a chance to do yibum is there is no son. If there's a son, there's no yibum. Okay? So now, the reason why is because what? The son, since the son, if the son, there's no yibum, it's out. Freding Marakasha. Now, this is where we're picking it up from Friday. Says the Gemara, Taima de Ikahai Pircha. The reason why son goes before brother is because that what we upslug the fact of yibum, because the son's existence precludes yibum. Havamina ach adif halav hachi, without this svara. Havamina ach adif, you would think of a son, a brother would come before a son. Tepik lei the hacha tarti v'hacha chada. Guys, look at me. He has two. Let me get this off the screen. By the son, there's two reasons. There's yiyud, and there's te'achuza. By the brother, there's only yibum. So even if you didn't have the kasha of klum yesh yibum el b'maka and ben, but there's no ben, it still should go. The numbers are in favor of the son inheriting instead of the brother. Why do I need the svara of what? Klum yesh yibum el she'ein ben. Even without that, it should go ahead what? And take precedence, the son over the brother. The brother's only one reason, yibum. The son has two reasons, stay achuza and yiyud. Says the Gemara, it's really one-on-one. The reason why stay achuza is, guys, the reason why stay achuza is only by the son and not the brother. The Gemara in Erchin is, maybe if a brother goes ahead and redeems it, it should stay in the family and not the son. And the Gemara answers that what? Because he has yibum, and the Gemara answers over there, the reason why this yibum is because there's no son. If there was a son, there wouldn't be yibum. So Memela, the reason why stay achuza, guys, the reason why stay achuza is by the son and not the brother is the same reason why le'inyan Yerusha, the son takes precedence, because of that reason. So Memela, the Gemara's kasher is you have two reasons. You have yiyud and you have stay achuza. You only have one. You only have yiyud, 1 and 1. Why? Because stay achuza is the same reason as what? As the same kasha as why we do away with yibum. It's 1-on-1 in Memela. Therefore, you have to go ahead and say the reason why yibum is not a factor over here, because if there's a son, there's no yibum whatsoever. Okay. Says the Gemara, v'hacha chada. Says the Gemara, stay achuza gufa. Stay achuza itself in Erchin, when we learn out that stay achuz is by the son and not by the brother. If the brother redeems it, it's still it still goes to the Kohen Yovel. Mahai taimahu dekot kaimale. Like okay, latana. That's why they hold that the reason why it doesn't go to the brother because klum yeshivim el b'makam shein ba ein ben hayeshba ben ein yibum. Okay, so right now we had one kasha in our process over here of jumping. We're going ahead and we're saying this order is lav dafka, because why? You're telling me that what? That the father comes before the brother. It says over here, guys, bas, then it says brother. You're picking this father up over here. The Gemara says, let's pick the father up over here. Next kasha, guys. Let's jump it over the bas. Got it? Let's jump it over the bas. Why? If once you're taking him out of place, why do you stop by what? By the brother? Go ahead and jump it over the daughter. That if there's a father alive and a daughter, that the father would get ahead of the daughter. Once you're telling me the order is not limited, so the Gemara is exhausting all possibilities. Says the Gemara, and that's the next question. The aim of Sheru Ze'av, Sher is the father. Malamit sha'av koidim lebas. The father comes before the bas. Yochel yakdim leben. I might think, wow, he comes before the ben. Tamad loima hakorav korav koidim. Good, but before the bas, he should come. So he can't come before the ben, but he should come before the bas. That Gemara answers, Kivin delinyan yibum ben ubas ki adadi ninu linyan nachlanami ben ubas ki adadi ninu. Guys, why was the koyach of what of the son over somebody else? Of course, a yibum. What happens if a man has a daughter and he dies? There's no yibum. So you see, a daughter has that same mila. Since the daughter has the same mila, le'inyan yibum hu hadin le'inyan yerusha. So therefore, right, guys, we have set. Let's go to outside. Ben, bas, and now we have the father jumping the brother, right? We have the father jumping the deceased brothers. Read the Gemara, but the ema sheira zeha'av, malamit sha'av koidim la'achi ha'av, right? That comes before what? If you look at the order, who comes first, guys? The uncles come first, right? If you look at the order, the ein la'achim nesatim es nachlasei la'achi aviv, the main achim la'aviv, if there's no uncles, then sheiroi. If there's no uncles, then there's what? And then there's sheiroi. So Fred the Gemara Kasha. Right. The ema sheira ze'a'av, umalamit shav koidim la'achi ha'av, that he comes before the what? The uncles. La'achin, like Yachol Yakim la'achin of the son. Talmud Laimar, l'sheiroi akarav elov, karav koidim. So therefore, if that's the case, you're going to say the son, the daughter, the brother, the brothers, the uncles, right? Let the uncles come first. So once you let the uncle come first, why are you going ahead and saying why is the uncle? Why is the father before the uncle? In the pasuk, the uncle's listed first. Now, guys, outside, we spoke out the other day, fellas, how nachla works. It works very interesting. So a man dies, his son inherits him. His daughter, the son, now, if the son has any relatives, the daughter doesn't come into play. You first exhaust the level of the son. So if a man dies, leaves a grandson or granddaughter from a son, that grandson and granddaughter would come before the daughter. Good? So now, you go down the line. How does an uncle, how does a brother get? How does a brother get? How does a brother get? Right? I think I learned the kasha wrong. Right? Yeah. Yachol yagdim la'achin shel beno. And how do you know you come before the sons? How do you never come before the sons? Right? Now, the uncles. Now, I learned the right shot. How does an uncle get involved over here? Watch, guys. A man dies. There's no sons. There's no daughters. There's a father. And there's no father. But there's uncles. Those uncles inherit the line of the father. Like the grandchildren inherit the lines of the son, grandchildren inherit the line of the bas. Those uncles go ahead and they inherit the father. That's why we spoke out beautifully the other day. It's not possible for a person, Klal Yisrael, not to have what? Not to have an achla, not to have a person. So the Fed Gemara have a great kasha, guys. How could you possibly entertain that the uncle should come before the father? The whole reason an uncle gets is from the father. Fred says the Gemara. Let's see it inside. Okay, so Fred the Gemara, right? Fred the Gemara. The name of Sherizu Av, Malamit Shav Koidim La'achi Av, Yochel Yagdim La'achin Tamad Loima Hakaru Karav Yumas, Koidim Achim Mavi Leit Tzrichi. You don't need a pasuk to tell me they come before the uncles, right? Leit Tzrichi Kra. Achi Av Mikoyach Man Kaasi, an uncle. How does he come? Mikoyach. What does he inherit? Mikoyach Av. He comes Mikoyach what? The father. Av Koyorsi. Achi Av. Right. So Av Koyorsi. Achi Av. Like says the Gemara, so how's it possible that he should come before? So it's not possible. The main law is so it says the Gemara, right? Achei av mikoyach man kaasi mikoyach av. Says the Gemara, koy av koy yarsi achei av. If the father's right, when the father's alive, then the brothers inherit, and right, it's not possible, right? So it's not possible that what they should come first. It's not possible that if the father's alive, the uncle should get. Guys, you're telling me the uncle should get before the father, correct? If the father's alive, they have no koyach. The whole koyach comes from the deceased father. If the father, I don't think I'm being clear. Again, going down the line, son, daughter, now you get the father. Fred the Gemara Kasha, maybe the uncle should get before the father, whatever that svara is. Says the Gemara, 1 second. You're telling me he's alive and they're going to get? They only get if he's dead, because they're getting as the fact that they're his sons. You know, the Yerusha cycle starts over again. Oh, father inherits. He's not around, sons inherit. So how can you possibly entertain the fact he's in the world and what? And his children and his brothers are going to get? Doesn't make any sense. So therefore, now the Gemara's problem is now. So the final order is, guys, son, daughter, father, brother, uncles. That's the final order. Fred the Gemara, v'hakroy lav hachiksivi. The psukim are not written in that order. The psukim are not written in the order. The chsiv ve'ein achim la'aviv, and if there's no uncles, and then it says, right? Then it says after that it says the father. So it's out of order. So the Gemara answers, kroi shalei kasidron kasivi. The pasuk is not written kasidron. It's not telling me the order of what. It's not telling me the order of what of kroivim. There's a sefer called the Yad Ramah. I found it in the sefer. He says the following: Kimin shah pasuk bolo lamed al kol kroivim shah korov koidim. The pasuk's come to tell me who is the closest. V'nichlal boy gam she'eroi shehu ha'av, and included in that is the father. Memela nichtav ha'av libesoif. Afal pishe besidroi have a yarish miyad. In other words, you're just coming, give me a list of relatives. You're not coming to give me an order. You're not to come to give me an order. And I saw a beautiful meiri, fellas. Why do we go ahead and kind of hide the father? We don't spell it out, correct? We don't spell it out. We call him she'eroi, and we're not spelling it out because as we began, it'd be a sad thing to go ahead and say a father inherits a son. It'd be very sad. The Torah, we don't want to begin the Torah with pernusa with some limit, a punishment. So therefore, we in the Torah, according to this man the Amar, is kind of hiding it by calling it she'eroi and not publicizing it this is the father. Okay, so this is the first shot in this pecking order. In other words, the order is going to stay the same, guys. Son, daughter, father, brother, uncle. But we learned it out from she'eroi and we jumped it, right? We're going to have now an other man the Amar who has the same maskana, but a different limud. The same maskana, a father, daughter, son, daughter, father, brother, uncle, but he's not going to learn it from what? From those words. He's not going to learn it from what? He's not going to learn it from the word she'eroi. He's going to learn it from the following words, guys. He's going to learn the following. And he's going to learn from the that there's sometimes you're mavir the nachla from the daughter, as we're going to see in a second. Let's see it inside. Says the Gemara. V'hai tana ma'isile mehacha. The Tanya. Ezu dorish Rabbi Yishmael, Rabbi Yossi. Ish kiyamus uben ein loy. If a person dies and he has no son, v'avartem esnachlasei lebitoi. Now it says v'avartem, right? And it's mashma that they're giving it to the daughter by passing over somebody else. Then it's mashma v'avartem, you're passing over the nachla. You're passing over the nachla. In other words, it should be going to her, but it is. So it says the Gemara, in a place where there's a daughter, you skip over the father. However, where they're brothers, you don't go ahead and take away from the father. Okay, so guys, listen, look at the pasuk over here. Where there is a father, where there's a father, you will go ahead, pass over the nachla of the father and give it to his daughter. However, if there's no daughter, right? If there's no daughter, then the father's going to get it. If there's no daughter, the father's going to get it. So he learns it from the Vavartem rather from the She'eroi. He learns it from Vartem rather than the She'eroi. Good. Fred the Gemara Kasha, let's go back inside. Playing around with this the whole day. Fred the Gemara Kasha. The Ema b'mokim bas atamav nachla mina achin. Maybe where there's a daughter. In other words, you're saying that where there's a bas, you'll pass it to her, and you're passing it over the father. Maybe you're passing it over the brothers. The assumption is the father's in third place, and now you're passing him over, and you're putting the bas in second place. How do you know you're passing over the father? Maybe you're passing over the brothers. The brothers, in the order of the psukim, the brothers were third. Remember, in the order of the psukim, the brother was third. Right? And that what? Where there is a daughter, right? You would pass over the father. You would pass over the father. You just wouldn't pass over the brothers. In Cain, you wouldn't have to write va'avartem. Fellas, if you're coming to tell me that the pecking order is son, daughter, father, right? And where the father is it's really the following. It's son, father, and where there's a daughter, you're going to put the daughter in between, right? Guys, you're going to put the daughter in between. For the Gemara, how do you know you're passing over the daughter over the father? Maybe you're passing the daughter over the brothers, yeah? So what's the order? Son, daughter, brother. Look at the Torah, guys. What's the order? Son, daughter, brother. Why would you have to say vavartem? Guys, havartem means it's somebody that you're piercing over. If it's the son, brother you're piercing over, you wouldn't use the lashon of havartem. That's the order of the Torah. 1, 2, 3. But if the father is supposed to be 2, then it's vavartem, but putting the daughter is 2. The order of the Torah without the vavartem is exactly what you're saying. Brother, son, daughter, brother. That's what the Gemara is asking. How do you know it's son, daughter, father? Says the Gemara, because if it was son, daughter, brother, you wouldn't have to say vavartem, that you're jumping anybody. You're not jumping anybody, guys. According to the order, that's the order given. You're not jumping anyone. So therefore, you know what vavartem means? It must be somebody who's not stated that you're jumping over. Who is that? The father. So again, you're arriving at the same order. Son, daughter, father. This one's deriving it from she'eroi, and this one's arriving it from vavartem. How we doing? We good? Good. Okay, says the Gemara. Ulamaid nafgalei, and the one, according to the Manda Omar, the nafgalei who learns out, mevavartem, hay she'eroi mayavilei. What does he do with the pasuk of a she'eroi? Since av does not mean she'eroi, he learns mevavartem. What does he do with that pasuk? She'eroi zu ishtoi. She'eroi is what? Is his wife. Malame shebal yarish is ishtoi. So you read the pasuk, guys. If you look, the Rashbam says, the Rashbam says she'eroi zu ishtoi, and you read the pasuk as you read the pasuk as v'nesatem. Let me put it up again. I really should keep it up there. You read this pasuk. V'nesatem es nachlas, v'nesatem es nachlas, right? She'eroi loi, and you give nachlas she'eroi of his wife loy to him. That's how he darshans it. He learns va'avartem to teach me father. What does you learn shera mean? That a man inherits his wife. Guys, here's the way he reads it. Unesatem es nachlas. You give the Yerusha, who's nachla? L'sher, his wife, loy to him. That's what you're doing. You're giving the share of his wife to him. That's what he uses it for. He learns the father from va'avartem. He used the shera to teach me that a man inherits his wife. It doesn't say that. So therefore, says the Gemara, that's where you learn it from. It says that what? Malame Shabal Yorsh Zishto. Ulamanda Nafiklem Sheiroi, the one who learns that father from Sheiroi, Hai Vavartem Ayav. What does he do Vavartem? Miboy Lechidetanya. Rabbi Yomer, the Kulon Nemar Behen Nesina. By all the inheritance it says giving. The Kan Nemra Behen Havara. Vavartem, it says, the pasuk says by the girl, the pasuk says Vahavartem, by the daughter. Why is that? She'en lecha shemavri nachle mishevet l'shevet elabas haylu b'no ubayla yorshim mysa. Guys, the guy gets married, right? He only has a daughter. He's from Shevet Yehuda. Who inherits he only has a daughter. Who inherits him? His daughter. His daughter gets married to someone from Dan. The daughter dies, right? She dies. Who inherits her? Her husband. So what happened? Va'avartem, you took a chelik of Yehuda and it ended up a chelik Dan. The other one stays within the realm of the mishpacha. But this would pass over. Va'avartem, this is the way it's going to pass over to another member of the mishpacha, another shevet. Hayil b'no bayla yorshim asav. U'memayde sher is zeha av. How do you know taka sher means av? D'chsiv sher avichahu. We just learned it by mincha. Sher avichahu. Ema sher zu aim. D'chsiv sher im mechahi. Say that what? So a man. So if sher avichahi, it's his mother, and therefore you learn that whether it's a father or a mother, they inherit him. That even not only if Sheiroi guys means mother, then his mother would inherit him. Right? According to the Mandiyama of Sher, then this would mean that if it's not father, it means mother also. So therefore, when the Satim es nachlasa, you give his nachla to his mother. So either his mother or his father. So let's say his father's around, he would come first. The mother's around, she would come first, depending. Says the more you can't say that. Why can't you say that? The pasuk says what? The pasuk says from his mishpacha means the mishpacha v'yarash saw mishpachas av kruya mishpacha. The mishpacha of what? Of the male is called mishpacha. Mishpachas aim ain't a kruya mishpacha. The mishpacha of the mother is not called mishpacha. Dechsiv the mishpacha isam leveis avay sam. So we see when it says mishpachas leveis avay sam, it goes to paternal, goes after the mishpachas aim ain't a kruya mishpacha. Afraid the Gemara, you're telling me that the mishpacha of the mother is not called it. I say, guys, so let's just chazru before we go further. The maskano, we have an ordering like this. We have father, we have son, daughter, father. Despite the fact that the order of the Torah is father's not there, brother, uncle, father. Okay, so She'eroi is the father. We learned She'eroi; it's not giving us an order, and we're going to go ahead and through Svara we're going to say the father comes. According to the second Mandiyama, Baby Shmuel, it's from Avartem. You're jumping over. The father's jumping the brother and landing what? You're jumping the daughter over the father. You're jumping the daughter over the father. Okay, so you have that order, and so Tuli Mudim, either from Sheru. Now, the one that Mandiyama says Avartem, what does he do with the Sheiroi? That what does he do with the Sheiroi? That he teaches me that it's his wife. Teaches me it's his wife. Mandiyama who's Sheiroi, what does he do with Avartem? Telling me that it says Avartem by daughter because that's the way you can go from one family to another, from one Shevet to another. Mishpacha, how do you know Sheir, even though Sheir means mother, how do you know mother doesn't inherit a son? It's because it says Mishpachtoi, Mishpacha, and Mishpacha space of Isam. So we learn out what? The Mishpacha space of Isam, only the male is in Yerusha. Now, you're telling me that Mishpacha's aim is not called Mishpacha, we're going to question that. And in order to understand this, we have to give you a little background. In Sefer Shoftim, towards the end of Sefer Shoftim, there are two incidents. One we saw in Masechta Gittin, it was the Ma'aser Pelegesh Begiva, A second one, which we're seeing now, is called the Ma'aseh of Pesel Micha. Pesel Micha. Micha was one of the, again, there is a daya, he was the baby that Moshe took out of the brick. Micha's Lashon Moich, he was squashed in the brick. He's one of the babies that Moshe took out of the brick. Moshe asked the Kadosh Baruch Hu, like, what's the story with this? And Kadosh Baruch Hu told Moshe, I know what I'm doing. You know, this kid's going to end up no good. Anyway, Moshe made a mistake. Micha, according to, I don't know, it's a medrash, but according to many opinions, he followed Moshe around all the time. And when Moshe brought Atzmas Yosef out of the Nile River, he put in a petek with the Shem of Mefarish that said Ale Shur on it. Ale Shur. He threw it in, and the Shur, Yosef, who was compared to an ox, Bechar Shara Hadalai, he came up. He didn't pick the petek, and Micha took the petek. By the Cheda Egel, he threw it in, and that's why the Egel was an Egel. And that's why he was able to talk, guys. The Egel was able to talk. It had the Shem of Mefarish in it. Anyway, this guy, according to some people, he had some money. He could have been involved with Delilah, and he ended up making a pesel, making a getchka. It led Shevet Dan astray, and the Navi tells us it's in Shoftim Perek Yud Ches. It gives us a little background to this Navi. We're going to meet in a second. You wouldn't believe it, who it is, actually who it is. So that this person, Micha, he was so happy because he found this individual, right? He found this individual, and this individual's name was Yehonasan ben Gershon ben Menashe. And it says, the pasuk tells us, no, I don't want this. The pasuk tells us a little bit about this. It says, "Vayikvu Shem Ha'ir Don b'Shem Don Aviem Asher Yula LiYisrael v'Ulam Layish Shem Ha'ir LeRishonik was called Layish. Vayokimu Lahem B'nei Don as Haposel." They went ahead and they established this Avodah Zarah. Yehonasan ben Gershon ben Menashe hu ubonav hayikahanul m'shevet Adoni yad Yom Golos Mitzvah. So Yonah Hassan, the son of Gershon. Now, guys, you'll notice there's something very strange. Very, very strange. The word Menashe has a hanging nun. Okay? And that's the thrust of what we're about to learn. Okay? So this person, Yehonasan ben Gershon ben Menashe, who was what? He was the Kaimer, he was the priest for this Avodah Zarah. Well, it's amazing that it was Avodah Zarah Mamish. I don't know, it lasted a very long time, and we're going to see this person lived a very long time. So this is the story. So now, says the pasuk, by you're telling me that the mishpacha never goes after the mother. It says the following: by nar mi beis Lechem Yehuda, there was a nar from the house of Lechem of Yehuda, mi mishpachas Yehuda, v'hu Levi, v'hu Gar Sham. Says the Gemara, Agufa Kasha. Amit, you say that hu Levi, Alma me Levi asa. It came from Shevet Levi, mi mishpachas Yehuda, Alma me Yehuda asa. How do you explain this dual citizenship, if you will? Right? One hand from Levi, one from Yehuda. Elolav, the Avu me Levi, the Ime me Yehuda. His father was from Levi, and thus he was a Levi. The Mishpachosim Lereis Avaisam, and his mother from Yehuda, Vikamar Mishpachas Yehuda. So you see, you do take into account the mother Shevet. After all, in the Shoftim, this individual is called a Levi, and he's called from Yehuda. How do you explain that? His father was a Levi, and he was from Yehuda. So l'chayr, you have a kasha, is mishpacha of what? Of Aim. Amarava, Barav Chana Loi, Gavra the Shmei Levi. He really was from Yehuda, fellas. He was from Yehuda, but his name was Levi. His name was Levi. Micha is saying to this guy, Micha says to this Yehonasan, Ata yadati ki yitav Hashem li, you know Hashem is good to me, ki hoya li halevi l'kayin, because I have a Levi to be a kayin. Says the Gemara. So l'chayra, if he was called Levi, so why is Micha so excited that he got a Levi? Maybe he didn't get a Levi. He got a guy named Levi. Guys, if he was from Yehuda, there's no special yichus l'inyan avoida. If he's a Levi, so maybe he's in mishpacha of Kahanim, they came from that Shevet, so therefore he's excited. So you feel from the excitement of Micha that he must have been from Levi and not named Levi. Says Mara'in, no. Disrami like Gavra, Dishmei Levi. In other words, he was excited. You know why? Because he had a person named Levi. And again, it'll lead people astray. He doesn't care. He's called Levi. People think he's a Levi. But Einachinami, Le'inyan Yichus, he's from Yehuda. He's not a Levi at all. And Yakasha is not kind kasha. Fred Gemara, V'chi Levi Shemo. Was his name really Levi? V'alo Yehonasan Shemo. His name was Yehonasan. Shneimar, V'Yehonasan ben Gershon ben Menashe. Hu Bonov Hoyakahanum L'Shevet Adani. That's the pasuk we just saw. Amilach Uletaimech. V'chi ben Menashe hu. V'lei ben Moshe hu. Guys, he wasn't from Menashe. He was from Moshe. Dichsiv b'nei Moshe Gershon v'Eliezer. It says Gershon Eliezer. In other words, over here, the pasuk that you were looking at, fellas. So you read the pasuk. It says Vayehonasan ben Gershon. That what he was from Menashe. He wasn't from Menashe. He wasn't from Shevet Menashe. So in other words, I'm asking you a rhetorical question. You're telling me that what his name wasn't Levi, and therefore he wasn't from Yehuda. So you're telling me that what his name was Levi? His name wasn't Levi. He was Yehonasan, who was from Moshe, from Menashe. He wasn't from Menashe. He was from Moshe. Continues the Gemara. Menashe, the son of Chizkiyahu, was a tremendous Ovid Avodah Zarah. He put a slam in the Heichel. So this person, Yehonasan, even though he was a descendant of Moshe Rabbeinu, it's called Menashe to what? Say they did a Ma'aseh Menashe of Avodah Zarah. So Hachanami mitoch she'asa Ma'aseh Menashe the Yasim Yehuda Tola Kosev Yehuda. Okay, so now I got an answer. Really, you know what? Mishpachas aim, you have no raya. Your whole raya was predicated upon that a person from Levi was from Yehuda. No, the person's name wasn't Levi. His name was Yehonasan. Was he a Levi? Yes. What Shevi was he from? Levi. Why do you say Menashe? Because he did a Ma'aseh Avodah Zarah. Where did Menashe come from? He was the king of Klal Yisrael. Where did he come from? Yehuda. So when it said previously he came from Yehuda, it didn't mean he was from Yehuda, but he came from Menashe, who did a Ma'aseh Avodah Zarah. Rabbi Yochanan Mishum Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai Mikan Shetoilemes Al Kilkola B'Mikolko. From here you learn out, if you have in the mishpacha, guys. From here you learn out, if you have in the mishpacha that there's a kilkul in the mishpacha, there's something of derogatory nature in the mishpacha. It comes from the negative. So it must have been from, in this case, from Menashe. It says by Adoniah. Adoniah was the son by David, and he was rebelled. He wanted to be the king before Shlomo, and it says about him, he was very, very handsome. He was born after Avshalom. What do you mean he was born after Avshalom? Meaning they had the same mother, and Avshalom was the firstborn before him. Says the Gemara, Adoniah ben Chagis, Avshalom ben Macha. They had different mothers. So what do you mean he was born after Avshalom? Since he did a similar Tolakos of Avshalom. So just like what? By Avshalom, we're calling Adoniah after Avshalom because he's doing the same thing that as Avshalom did. He's being married by Malchus by wanting to be king. So within we called him Menashe, even though he was from Moshe. Why? Because we want to go ahead and be Toila in the mishpacha of the negative. A person should go ahead and check. Moshe Shenasa Bas Yisro, Moshe who married the daughter of Yisro, Yatzim Mimena Yehonasan. Yisro was an Ovid Avodah Zarah, and he ended up having a grandson who was involved with Avodah Zarah. Aaron Shenasa Bas Aminadav, Aaron who married the daughter of Aminadav, Yatzim Mimena Pinchas, came from Pinchas. So Pinchas came from that union, right? And therefore he was a positive guy. Fred and Gemara, well, Pinchas Lami Yisro Yasa, did Pinchas not come from Yisro? But Kasiv Eliezer ben Aaron, Lakach Leib ben Putiel, Loy Leisha. He took from the daughter of Putiel a wife. My love the Asim Yisroi Shepite Egolim Avodah Zara. He fattened Avodah Zara. So you see that he came from Yisro. Says Malay. The Asim Yosef Shepit Be Yitzro. Who was involved? I guess he was fighting his Yitzhahara when it came to the Eshes Poitifar. So therefore, he was a descendant of Yosef and not Yisro at all. Baloi Shvatim Mevaza Maisai. The Shvatim were Mevaza Pinchas v'Oimrim Reisim ben Puti Zed. You see the son of this Puti Shepitem Avi Imoi, his maternal grandfather Agolam Avodah Zara. Yarog Nashi Shavim Yisrael. He killed Cosby. No, he killed Zimri. Killed Zimri, who was what? Who was a Nasi. Eliyah. So you have to say the following: If the father of his mother came from Yosef, then his mother came from Yisrael. They cannot be benois poltiel. It says benois poltiel hartim. It says benois means that there's two poltiels, meaning there's the Yisrod sad and there is the Yosef sad. Shma mina. Okay, but Einachinami, Yehonasan did not have. We don't go after the mishpacha of the aim maskana. We go after the mishpacha of the father.